This album had me kind of confused. I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting, but I don't think this was it. Hello, welcome back here with me, IC Snaps, and yes, Happy New Year, and we are back with my first video. I know it's been ages, I'm sorry, but here we go. So yeah, this is Secret Love by Dry Cleaning, and this was actually my first time ever listening to pretty much any of their music. So this is my first introduction. Just me, my headphones, and a lot of spoken word, which was kind of unexpected. I'll be honest right away, this ended up being about 6.5 for me, spoiler alert, which kind of surprised me and left me feeling a bit confused because on paper, this is usually something I would love. So let's talk about why I didn't. The album either grabs you or it just kind of doesn't. Instrumentally, it's brilliant, it's clean, this restrained post-punk sound. The guitars are sharp but not aggressive. The bass lines are heavy and the drums are tight and repetitive, but in the best way possible. Take That opener, hit my head all day, simple but hypnotic. It all sounds very controlled, deliberate, and that's kind of fine until you realise the album stays in this zone throughout, for the most part anyway. The issue for me is the spoken word of it all. At first, I thought the vocals, the spoken word just worked kind of beautifully, sounding quite fresh and new and kind of like a surprise to hear, a welcome surprise at that. Sharon Floor delivers this deadpan performance, whilst at the same time her voice comes across kind of calming and supportive and a little bit relaxing, I would say. Spouting verses you might find in an idea notepad. Satirical comments to social commentary to something slightly more just absurd. There's no real sort of melodic shifts vocally or tonal changes. There's no obvious emotion, and it's kind of subtle and hidden well behind her lyrics, really. And it's all delivered roughly at the same energy level, which in itself is quite impressive. You know, how do you not get bored, right? If from my perspective, these vocals give way for the instrumentation, letting them kind of take the spotlight, it makes me feel slightly torn. The longer the album goes on, the more that delivery starts to feel monotonous, which we already know it is. About midway through, I realised that I wasn't really listening anymore. I was just waiting for that hook, something extra, a bit more dynamic in the vocals anyway. Musically, I think it's brilliant. Luckily, I do think the instrumentation does do a good job of keeping things ultimately more interesting. For example, the horn section in Let Me Grow and You'll See Fruit, or that fast punchy percussion through the song Blood. This album isn't long, but it really feels long. So many tracks seem to drift rather than build, and I think that's where it slightly loses me. They start, they settle into a groove, Florence talks over it, and then it kind of just ends. And I know this is intentional, more of a statement it feels, and I quite like that. But you know, intention doesn't automatically make something more engaging either. Lyrically, there are some great misleadingly haphazard moments where things start to sound kind of weird and bizarre, but they work in the sense. It's the way they jump between mundane details to abstract thought that's very art rock, self-aware, but it's also kind of funny. I mean, take Cruise Ship Designer, for example, or the track Evil Evil Idiot singing about liking burnt food. Yeah, silly, but really funny. I'm not sure if there was a deeper meaning behind it, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. As a first-time listener, I do feel a slight disconnect. The spoken word delivery and sort of deadpan creates a emotional distance, and it becomes hard to keep focus. I wasn't really connecting with songs, just kind of observing and listening. Production-wise, everything is brilliant. The mix is crisp and clean, and everything is punchy, it's bassy, it's just a really nice sort of timbrel brilliance. And every track feels like it adds something slightly extra to the previous. Maybe I was expecting something a bit more chaotic, perhaps. Instead, it often felt like the music was interrupting the vocals, which is kind of wild because I thought that was the intention of the spoken word in the first place, but now I'm not so sure. I can see this working maybe a bit more if you're already a Dry Cleaning fan. As an introduction, I feel like I should have gone in a bit earlier, which is what I will do because I actually found this really interesting and I want to get to know the band a bit more, so I'm definitely going to check out their earlier work. It feels like they're not afraid to try something a bit risky. This album isn't bad at all, but I don't find myself connecting with it emotionally, or you know, sometimes I'm losing focus here and there. So whilst it is really, really interesting, I think overall I would give this album a 6.5 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all, honestly, all my new subscribers, everything. So yeah, let me know what you thought, if you'd like to see anything in the future, you know, videos you might want me to cover or whatever. And yeah, till next video.